US Ambassador to the United States Nikki Haley told India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Wednesday it was important that India cut its dependence on Iranian oil and said the United States would work to follow or allow India to use an Iranian port as corridor to Afghanistan. India and the US ties touched a new low on Wednesday following Washington's decision to postpone the 2+2 dialogue scheduled for July 6, 2018 after Delhi reportedly refused to toe the Trump administration line on cutting down on oil supplies from the Persian Gulf countries. The United States has told countries to cut all the imports of Iranian oil from November and is unlikely to offer any exceptions, a senior State Department official said on Tuesday as the Trump administration ramps up the pressure on allies to cut off the funding to Iran. The Indian-backed Chabahar port complex in Iran is being developed as a part of the new transportation corridor for the landlocked Afghanistan that could potentially open the ways for millions of dollars in trade and cut its dependence on Pakistan, it's sometimes a hostile neighbor. This was the second time the US has postponed the maiden 2+2 dialogue with India, the first being exit of Rex Tillerson as the Secretary of State early this year and subsequent Senate confirmation of his successor Mike Pompeo. MEA spokesperson of India Ravish Kumar announced the US Secretary Pompeo spoke to EAM Sushma Swaraj a short while ago to express his regret and the deep disappointment at the US have to postpone the 2+2 dialogue for unavoidable reasons. US Secretary Pompeo sought EMA Sushma Swaraj understanding and they agreed to identify new mutually convenient dates to hold the dialogue at an earliest in India or the US. The person familiar with the issue indicated to Economic Times of India that the Pompeo is traveling for some key mission around the same time when 2+2 dialogue was scheduled. There are reports that the President of USA and Russia might meet on July 10 and the top interlocutors of USA might be engaged with that process. When PM Narendra Modi of India met President Donald Trump last year, they decided to set up a 2+2 meeting of Foreign plus Defense Ministers dialogue for further strategic partnership. While Pompeo is scheduled to travel for a key mission leading to postpone a dialogue, policy circles in Delhi viewed the decision by the US as a sign of a slide into Indo-US partnership. The bilateral ties have under stress this year for a number of reasons. It is understood that India is unwilling to accept US diktat on stopping all oil imports from Iran from November 4. India faces the prospect of sanctions if it continues oil supplies after November 4, 2018 warns US. Iran, a regional power, is not likely or not only the key to oil supplies to India, but also India's gateway to Eurasia and Afghanistan. Indo-US ties are also being tested over the defense supplies from Russia, including S-400 missiles defense system and impending sanctions if India went ahead with purchase. Modi has assured Russian President Vladimir Putin at such informal summit that India would uphold the commitment to purchase weapons including S-400 from Russia. The trade protectionism of Trump, President of US administration, has forced India to impose retaliatory measures. Besides, the Trump's position on H-1B visas has further impacted the ties adversely. So what do you think of US warning India on Iranian oil imports and Russia's weapon imports? And India is not ready to move around the US and it is not backing off from Russia or either from Iran. As the US steps up the heat on Russia through sanctions and the strikes on Syria, the message from Washington to New Delhi is equally clear that the countries like India should start looking at US differently. Ahead of the key strategic partnerships of energy dialogue, the US Under Secretary of Energy Mark Menezes told the Economic Times that it's important for the countries like India to not let the Russia and the China gain over the US in these areas. And he said, "I think India should start looking in the direction of the United States. Look at us, look at what we are offering, and then choose us over other countries. I'm not saying it will happen overnight, but start looking in our direction at least. When asked on the concerns that the US may be less cost effective to Russia and China, he said, if the countries begin to choose for the economic reasons only to go to the countries like China and Russia, which frankly do not share the values of democracy, free markets, religious tolerance, I would suggest we need to think very carefully. The US, Menes emphasized, offers a more reliable options now that it's a net export of oil and natural gas. This allows the countries which shares our values to choose between the countries that can threaten to cut off supply or exit because you are dependent on them. The US is keen. India has signaled its strategic inclinations towards the US in the energy sector, adding that the Trump administration will ensure Westinghouse builds new nuclear reactor in India. And he claims, be careful of those countries which come in and say the price should be determinative factor which when you enter into a co-partnership with them. We want that when the countries like India, with whom we have shared values, look for nuclear partners, they want to be with countries like US. Menes also told to the Economic Times that he was convinced on the Westinghouse bounce back from its economic troubles to build reactors in India. We think Westinghouse will be very strong coming out of the bankruptcy. We are very supportive of their technology and capability to build their 6 reactors here in India. Bankruptcy will be no longer an issue. He went on to add the US attaches significant importance to India's membership request to the nuclear supplier group. We are pledged that we will look critically at any effort to impose unreasonable restrictions to their membership. So what do you think of US or the United States in nearly begging for India to not to go to Russia and China, instead it has to come to US for all its needs? Is it the right direction to go only towards one country with a democracy, or it's very good safe for India to go to democratic, secularistic and communist countries to have a spreaded equal things to all the countries so that India will be safe on all the countries? In Kolkata, insurgency is likely to increase in the northeast after the Doklam standoff with China, and there are already signs of it in the region. Former GOC in Sea Eastern Command Lieutenant General J.R. Mukherjee said here today, whenever India has annoyed China or there has been a border-related issue between the two countries, it has aided insurgents in the northeast, Mukherjee told the Economic Times, and commenting on the plausible fallout of 74-day standoff with the Chinese at the Doklam in the Sikkim sector in 2017. Consequent to Doklam, insurgency will increase in the northeast, and the signs of these are already evident. The retired Lieutenant General, who is the Vice President of the strategic think tank SNRSK, said. Mukherjee said that the Doklam is neither the first time nor the last time that the China has made such an attempt. Its army will keep coming and camp at the places of that country's strategic interest. In Doklam, they will eventually try to twist the Bhutanese state to get what they want. He said and claimed that the Chinese have not left the Doklam but have only stepped up a little back. The Center for East and the Northeast Regional Studies, or the CNRS, in Kolkata, which has as its patron former Army Chief General Shankar Rai Chaudhary and the advisory former Air Chief Marshal Arup Raha, is organizing a 2-day dialogue on Indo-China issues and the relation between the two Asian giants. The seminar, to be held on February 2nd and the 3rd of 2018, is scheduled to be attended by the Ministry of State of External Affairs General retired V.K. Singh, and will deal on the issues ranging from the political, economic and the military capabilities to problem and the prospects relating to the bilateral investments. Professor Guo Shitang, the Director of Institute of International Strategic and Policy Analysis, of Shanghai University of International Businesses and Economics will be there and the lone Chinese speaker at the event, which is also scheduled to be attended by the US and the Japanese diplomats. So what do you think of China getting ready again in the Doklam standoff, which may trigger a battle between India and China? Post your comments below, and if you like this video, please give a thumbs up and follow us on social networks and subscribe to our channel. And thanks for watching. This is WEC Daily. Think big, think different. Bye.